So for better or worse, I've bought a plow and we're going to plow this field. It pays out pretty good and I think that we need the money. So that's what we're doing. The big plan for today is to buy the soil sampling device so we can actually take care of our fields the correct way. I don't have anything I don't have any way to know what we're doing in the field, so I don't know how much fertilizer to put down. I don't know the content of the soil at all. It's just kind of exists. So as most of you know, I think that plowing fields is relatively bad. I'm not going to say it's a terrible thing to do, but with modern practices, it's not the best. We have learned over many generations at this point that turning over the soil again and again and again isn't the best thing in the world. So I try my absolute hardest not to integrate any kind of plowing into my fields wherever I can. That's why we're running the direct seeding and the crop rotation and another mod that deals with this issue as well. So we're only going to do this as contract work. That's why I bought the cheapest plow that I could. I think we paid $3,500 for this guy. There's also an art to real life plowing that I simply don't possess. I've said a million times before, go watch George Saunders' videos of real life farming and you'll see how to properly do it. You can turn in a field, you can turn out a field. There's different methods to do it. Like this time we're using a disc. And, sometimes you want to use a mold board with different tines and everything else. There's just so many different ways. And again, it's one of those things that we've learned over generations. It's also one of those things that if we look at logically, if we can delete this step from, actual farming, then we save fuel, we save a piece of equipment that we have to purchase. We should, in theory, get better results out of our fields because the soils are better maintained. If you turn a soil black, yeah, it helps dry it out, but you can make it too dry, and you can make it, evaporate out all the nutrients that has actually built up in the soil. You're baking it all the time, so you have no organic growth underneath. It's like getting a sunburn, right? You pick and you peel at it, and then it makes it worse. It's not better. Honestly, one things I'm really hoping to see in the next farming sim game is a updated tire model, let's say, to bring it on board with some of the other games that we have, like Euro Truck Simulator, or even some of the racing games. Because this game, to me, has no feeling whenever we're turning. You're just turning a wheel. There's no feedback at all. Where in this rut, the tractor will want to stay in that rut, and I think that's one of the things that you should be learning with this game. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Use this game to teach modern practices to a generation of people that just been excluded from any kind of farming environment. Everybody says that farming's hard. I've done a lot of things. I think learning it is the hardest part. Not the long days or anything like that. That just comes with everything nowadays. But learning it is difficult. And say what you will about Cattle and Crops, that game that just kind of died, it did a good job of showing what your actual day-to-day routine would be on a farm, as a small scale. You're not going to be able to finish some jobs in one day if you run out of time doing other things around the yard. I think that was a really good thing to do. It was more simulator on that aspect of it than farming simulator. But this game does other things well. Like, this is extremely easy to pick up and play, where Cattle and Crops, the controls are very odd, let's say. They could use a remap. The control maps on farming sim are pretty good, except for the crane usage. I hate it. Please make it die. But other than that, it's fairly solid. I wish it would not have gone the way that it did, but what do you do? See, just look at the things we could be doing if we weren't plowing this field. I could still be in bed. I could just be chilling out. I could be terrorizing the village and probably eating all the food. Now, I know we've made a lot of big purchases, but I think one of the purchases that we're going to have to make via the lease plan is probably going to be a harvester. I don't have that kind of capital, and I don't want to grind for that amount of capital because it doesn't make sense. when I can leverage, you know, other smaller jobs. You know, we'll end up paying more for it. So if the harvester is $100,000, let's say, a little cheap one to get started, maybe Meridian with a couple heads or something, we'd probably end up paying about $130,000, give or take, for that, which I think is fine, because it'll get our foot in the door and we will do more and more contracts. Because we're on the last day of harvest here, I think there's a few things I could do. I'm really thinking about just going ahead and leveraging that for us after we get the rest of our stuff done, because I could go ahead and do a couple jobs with it. Now, that would mean it would sit for the next probably 7 months, and we're going to pay payments on that. And, you know, if we get delinquent on those, then that's bad. But I think it would be worth having, possibly. I could, but right now it is the very last month of season, so maybe it's not such a good idea to get it. And I could probably leverage that to a mower and a baler and all that hay equipment as well. So it's something to consider, because that'll come sooner than the rest of the crops, and there are a ton of baling jobs on this map. So I'm thinking that we can do that. Again, we're running this as a contractor to get us going and buy fields and everything like that. We have our own little guy, but for now, I think we might leverage a little bit of our credit to get some pieces of equipment. We're almost 3/4 of the way done now, so I thought, yeah, you know what, we'll do this side. That way we get a different little bit of a view. That and the hillside's really steep, and the tractor doesn't like pulling up it going this direction, so might do it this way. Probably faster. Probably 2 more passes now. 1 big one and then 1 cleanup, so that's pretty good. There we go, all done. Time to collect. Oh, I'm $2,000 short for my thing. Oh no. So I accepted a cultivator mission for this very, very large lad. God, I can't remember the last time I drove one of these. Oh, they're so big. I love them. So this also gives me a chance to actually use Courseplay, which I hardly ever use. So I'm going to be learning this for an upcoming project. So we're going to just pretend that I'm the one driving, because I'm just going to stick with it and make sure everything's hunky-dory. But this should go fairly well. I've got it set on 2 headlands and do up and down on the longest path. I'm hoping that this works, because this is the one that we pulled the silage out of in the last episode. So it should go pretty well. The field's smooth enough, and I guess we're going to see what happens. And this setup's actually really, really nice for being a trailed piece. It's not as long as the tractor, or not as long, but as wide as the tractor, so that's always a good thing. This would be a good setup for here, honestly. Some of these fields are big enough to have a piece of equipment like this, especially when you take a look at like field 1. 60, 66, 69 that we're in, nice. 87 and 75, those are pretty big fields. I'd like to get into them. There's some money-making potential there. So far, so good. First lap is done and dusted, as they say. Oh, halfway done on the second lap. That's like a really good sign. Now we start our up and down passes. Let's see how this is going to go. It appears I have chosen the small end to start on instead of the big end. That's fine. This should go well. This is going a lot faster than what I thought it would be. I'm only an hour into recording, and we've plowed a field, and now we're cultivating this one. I'm getting better at the game, or I'm better with my time management. One of the two. Almost 90% done that quick. I am just astonished, really. I love this mod. Why didn't I ever use it more? Well, I did, but I just never use it on big stuff. I always use it on little stuff. It's really good on the big stuff. Oh, and there we go. It is done. So I'll finish up this pass, and yeah, we get to claim that, and we get a nice little bonus. Oh, well, you know what? We're already here with this. So let me get this. Actually, I can just directly purchase the soil information. How much is this? It's $500. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to spend 17 grand for no reason. Oh my god. That's so easy. Oh, the nitrogen levels are terrible. They are bad. Okay. Time to get that taken care of. Oh, this is actually coming in very nice. So let's see how well this is going to work. Oh, it's drinking it. It wants all of it. Oh man, I forgot how bad the fields start off with. We should have enough. I mean, hopefully we've got enough to do this field, then come back and go refill and do our other field. But geez Louise. Well, this should make this field grow fairly well. This is alfalfa, so I want a good crop out of it. I want to get as much as we can. But geez, yeah, this is that's a lot. Well, second pass is done, so we're just gonna have enough to get this complete, I think. Just enough. So let me go refill this and we'll head over and do our wheat field. Why does one half of my field have weeds in it? I have nothing to kill them. Oh no. Well, this field's somewhat taken care of at least. It's not going to take as much fertilizer, but oh man, I don't have a weeder or anything, and them are already big, so it's pretty much a done deal now. Almost done. One more pass, maybe. Probably. Yeah, it should be fine with one more pass. Oh, if I don't miss all of that. Great, I missed all of that. Yay, I'm good at this video game. And done. Huh. We got done with everything way faster than what I thought we were today. Oh, I've only had it on ×3. Oh. Okay. Well, I think I can leave the skinny tires on the Massey for right now. And we've got that guy for all the field work. Maybe December is going to be a really good month for us. Maybe I can still do some work. We'll find something to get into. But that is where we're going to leave it at. Thanks to everybody for watching today, and bye for now.